Good evening, folks. Let us know if you can hear me all right. I have a microphone plugged in, so I want to make sure that's okay. So we can bash on about the stream tonight. I hope everyone is doing well. A very happy Monday as well. Busy week ahead for Celtic as we play the Kazakhstan champions in the Champions League and Champions League playoffs. And we've been in this position before back in 2013 against Shakhtar Karagandy. So we don't take any teams for granted. I'd say I pop on, have a chat with you. It's been a very quiet week regards to transfer activity, but there's been a story that's been breaking over the last 24 hours. Should Celtic go for Jamie Vardy? Before this story broke, I done a poll on this. I was just sitting there last night. I said, I wouldn't mind if Celtic actually went for Vardy. Like, I know he's 38 years of age, but he's a winner. He's a Premier League winner. Brendan knows him well. He done well, all right, for Leicester last season, considering they got relegated. And can bring him off the bench. He can make an impact, and it's the experience as well. And I've done this poll yesterday on my Instagram page. Would you take Vardy this season? And look at the amount of votes. Over 1,300 votes, and 70% of Celtic fans said yes. Said yeah to Jamie Vardy. I'll be honest with you. There's pros and cons with taking this guy. Can we afford his wages? He's now a free agent since he left Leicester. He's been at Leicester since, I think it was like 2012 or something. But look, obviously went for the championship with Leicester, won the championship as well with Leicester as well, I think 2 times, and then won the league as well with Leicester and an FA Cup. So I think we're lacking quality up front. There's no question about it. Look, I was delighted Kenny started the other day against Falkirk, but not enough for me in times in the game. Adam Ida, I'm sorry, he hasn't been cutting the mustard so far this season, and I've said it so many times on the channel. We want to be ambitious, and this is not me. This is not me being greedy. This is not me being a happy clapper. I'm being honest with you. I think we're looking poorer than we did last season. Yet we've won 2 league games and we've won them in the League Cup. But the team needs strengthening, and it hasn't been strengthened. And I keep saying to myself, oh, we'll eventually get someone in. The last 2 weeks has been shocking. Lennon Miller's gone to Udinese. Surprise, surprise. I've been saying it for weeks upon weeks. He's going to go to Italy or France, I said, and he went to Udinese. I don't care if people are going to say he didn't want to come to Celtic or not, but the point is Celtic didn't make an offer this summer. The whole Balakwisha thing is an absolute shambles because Celtic can't get to their valuation of around 5 million for Royal Antwerp's winger. It's just an absolute shambles. I think the board are being very, very sleepy at the moment. They're not ambitious the way I know people say this is the typical Celtic board mentality going into the dying days of the window. Yes, the window does not close until the 1st of September. The point is we have 2 big Champions League games now. We can't. I don't think we can actually register players now for these 2 playoff games because it's gone past the deadline. We still need to get another striker. We still need a defensive midfielder. We still need wingers. And I'll be honest, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. As much as I played the patience game over pre-season 4 or 5 weeks ago, nothing's been really done since. Nothing's been done since, to be honest. I watch him on YouTube, scored a lot of goals, 100%. 100%. I think, you know what, look, people were doubting Kasper Schmeichel's ability as a keeper last year when we signed him. And I think having Kasper has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And Jeffrey Schalup didn't really work out for us. It was only a loan. Didn't really. He looked kind of steady at the start and then just dropped off. But I just think Celtic. I feel like the Celtic board feel like they've clapped their hands and wiped their hands because they've got Tierney back. That was their marketing. That was their big tap on the back. Oh, we've got Tierney back. That's enough for us. Yeah, we sold Kuhn for 17 million. We sold Lagerbielke for 2 million. And reportedly we're gonna make some sort of money off this Ben Doak deal. I was reading last week that we were gonna make no money off it because it was an academy fee that agreed with Liverpool back in 2022 or whatever it was for Doak to go to Liverpool, 600k. But look, there's no particular truth to James Vardy yet. It's all speculation. It's all tabloids talk. I done that poll before this story even broke last night. I just had a feeling in my stomach. So you know what? I'll put the question now. I'll ask the question to folk, and I was expecting it to be 60% no, 40% yes, because a lot of Celtic fans want to see a player develop and maybe get 3 or 4 years out of a player. They don't want to bring a guy in who's 38 years of age. We can't sell him on, and it's not all about what. It's not about us as fans to sell players on because we don't see the money anyway. Let's be honest. We haven't seen the money with Nicholas Keown. We're still waiting to replace Nicholas Keown, and it's shambles. It's shambles, and people say Vardy's past it. All I want Vardy is to bring him on for the final 30 minutes of a game or a half of a game. Get it in there. We'll look at his stats. Right? We'll go into it. Yes, he's 38, blah, blah, blah. But 544 goals, not 544 games, 237 goals in his career, 145 Premier League goals. That's something else. That is absolutely something else. I'll see you can share the screen and show you. So we'll see. I seen what Benjamin Secret said. I don't blame Benji. I don't blame, and as I said, we can all be happy. We can all be happy clappers and say, we'll be fine this season. But do you really want to stay at the same level or go back or go down a gear? Let's be honest. I don't know. I posted up earlier on Facebook saying I'm not happy the way it's gone so far this summer. Like, no one's putting a gun to my head to buy jerseys or buy merchandise, but I do it because I love buying the new Celtic gear. I love wearing our colours. No matter where I go, I love wearing our colours like you probably do as well. But it's just, so that's 250 quid gone into the club. But yet we haven't even spent over 3 million quid in this transfer window. And we have nearly 90 million in the bank just alone on transfer and Champions League revenue. I don't know. It just feels like I feel like the board are very silent. Very, very silent. I know the likes of Ryan said something earlier on one of his videos how unhappy he is about the board. I just think in general, a lot of Celtic fans are unhappy with the board. As I said, it's been a pretty good 3 wins so far, but there's a lot of work to be done. And people are quick enough to criticise when we lose games, but you are riding on when, we're winning, it's all right. We'll forget about the board for the time being. We still have Brendan in charge. We still have a core of players there that will win us the league. That's what some people's mentality have been. Vardy will score goals, let's be honest, and a bit of embarrassing that we're looking at a 28-year-old, a recruitment team, and the board of disgrace. Look, some people think it is embarrassing looking at a 28-year-old. Why are we not going for Morosky? Why are we not going for that guy off Slovan Bratislava? Why are we not going for other strikers in different leagues that could be 25, 26, that we could get for around 5 million? We were looking at the Cluj forward as well, the Romanian captain. We were looking at him for a while. Reportedly, he's come out and saying he's not playing for his club at the moment. So I'll be honest, I've taken a foot off the whole interest of the transfer window this summer because of the lack of activity, the lack of sources, the lack of interest. Yeah, fair enough, you can get this clickbait story saying, we're in for this guy, but it hasn't really been that. It hasn't been. And it's shocking because we have a manager who's in his second term as a coach at Celtic, and he's in his final year of his contract, and he can't get fucking backed. He can't get backed. And I'm sick of this shite of fans. I keep saying the same crap across the comments of, you don't trust Rodgers because we got Eda in for this money, we got Ingles in. It's not Rodgers. that got these guys in. Remember, the final say goes to the board. He may want to eat it back, as he was asked so many times after the cup final, but we got fleeced with Ida. Let's be honest. The more games goes past, the more I don't see Adam Ida score, the more I get frustrated. Simple as. We're fans. We want to see our players succeed, but you can back them so much. And as I said, if he doesn't have 15 goals by January, you'd be saying to yourself, what the fuck's going on here? What is going on with Adam Ida? Is it the mentality? Is it the lack of service behind them? Is there not enough coming from the flanks? Now, get me wrong, Adam, with Kieran Tierney coming back in, you could see that's being added to our game with the on the left hand side crossing the ball, and it's good to see Maeda scored as well the other day. But it's a joke. It's a joke, and the Balagwisha thing has crashed again. Surprise, surprise. Because let's be honest, no one else has collapsed. Stephen Welch was meant to go to Plymouth Argyle 3 weeks ago on loan to the League One side. That stalled. On top of that, Marco Tilio was meant to go to Rapid Vienna 2 weeks ago. There was a clause that if he plays over 20 odd games for them, they'll buy him for so much million. I don't know if it's 2.4 million or 1.4 million. I'm not sure. I have to go back in and look at the actual fee again, but that stalled. So what is going on? What is going on? Are we sleeping at the wheel? Because if we go into this game on Wednesday, even though we are firm favourites to beat this team at home and hammer them, even though they got beaten the weekend in their own league, you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. And I'm not hoping that we get knocked out of the Champions League playoff. Hope definitely not. But you have to look at the scenario. If that was to happen, even though there's a small chance, if that was to happen, would the board wake up and realise that they were gambling too much? They didn't action it quick enough? You never know. You never know. But yeah, Benji Seacrest, I've seen his comments saying that a deal was agreed with another club and he was away on holidays, and a week later he heard nothing, and the board went silent, and he could have had a move out of Celtic earlier on. Benji Seacrest was a good player for Dundee, just never got a chance at Celtic, and I think he's over in Serie A now, and he's doing all right over there as well. So just look, it is what it is. Like, I don't do fan media. I don't have connections in with the club. I'm saying as a fan perspective of what I'm seeing over the summer, I'm just not happy. You might call me a moany bastard, throw me toys at the pram, but we've won our first 2 league games. We've progressed into the last 8 of the League Cup. We'll play Partick Thistle in over in Partick. So Fair Hill, not Fair Park. I'll call the Fair Hill. I called it Fair Park the other night by mistake. You need embarrassing window if you ask me. So tell me in the comments, who would you like to see us bring in? Like, what type of positions? Defensive midfield, striker. Haven't seen much of Colin Osmond. Inamura didn't make the Champions League playoff squads. Like, we're lacking quality on the left at times. I know Maeda plays on the left, but the sooner the better we get Jota back before the new year. I know there's a lot of football to be played then. You know, I as I said this on the channel, and I know I had the privilege to go on to another podcast the other week, and thanks very much to CSP for asking me on. I'm just not have the buzz that I did this time last year. I just think we know in the back of our head we have a manager that's not even being offered a contract going into his final year. It just shows that they either want to hang Brendan Rodgers, or they're going to back him. Depends on the Champions League playoff. That's shocking. Because at the end of the day, there's three other trophies that we have to contest for as well. I know the Champions League is the creme de la creme, and we need the money and all. But like, as Brendan says, he likes to build. It's very hard to keep. It's very hard to maintain the house is the same way it is because players will want to move, as we see in McKeown. You probably see with Tate eventually down the line. Players will move, and I just think it's brutal. From Abu Dhabi, Amar Traore. Was that the guy that was from France that plays in France? The centre back, was it? If Maeda goes, we're in trouble. I don't think Maeda will go in this window, to be honest, which is I'm not really worried about Daisy Maeda. The only scenario I could see Daisy Maeda leaving if it's a 30 million bid, or if we don't qualify for the Champions League, the board will want to make up some sort of money from the failure of not qualifying for the Champions League. They'll probably want to sell Maeda. That's the only way. I think Maeda be here at Celtic on the 2nd of September, which is my birthday. But look, as I said, we have a big week. I'm confident that we can get over the line with this. Obviously, we look at back the Shakhtar Karagandhi. They beat us in the away tie in the first leg, and then we went to Celtic Park and Common scored a stroke at half time. Samara scored, and James Forrest scored the third goal to get us into the Champions League. Then we played Astana. We hammered them at Celtic Park, and then they gave us a game over there, and it was brutal. I think it was 8-4 in aggregate. So it's busy week. We'll know by Thursday where we're heading, regards to the final few days of the window. To be honest, it'll be only the first leg done, but if we have a comfortable lead, Celtic might start making moves in the window. But I'm in for Jamie Vardy. I know we have strikers there. I'm not saying Jamie Vardy should be our first choice striker. What I'm saying is we need a bit of experience up front. Adamida's not cutting it. Daisy can play up front, but Brendan's preferring him playing on the left because we don't have Jota on the left. Kenny, I don't think, I'll be honest with you, lads and ladies that are watching, I don't think this group of strikers that we have is to the level where we say, right, I trust this guy to play week in, week out. And that's the God honest truth. We have Yamada that still has to make an impact. We have Osman that we haven't seen much of. We have Kenny that done merit well with Shamrock Rovers in the Conference League. Done all right in pre-season. Scored against Newcastle and so. But there's nothing there telling me deep down inside I'm happy with what we have up front. That's the God honest truth, What about the barriers at Celtic Park on Friday night? Well, so they basically put the barriers up around the turn. Was it just before the steps there when you're going into your seats to stop people moving around at half time and stuff? I think it's pathetic. I think it is shocking. I know for health and safety, what something that was to happen. I just think there's a big divide there between the board and the fans, to be honest. And I'm not a season ticket holder, but I asked the question today on social media and got a few smart dickheads back. And to be honest with you, I don't care. People like, well, this is the way this always goes with Celtic, with the board. Then why are you accepting it? They should be held accountable. Yeah, we're winning trophies every season, but we could be much better than this. Much better. It's the lack of communication. You got the likes of other clubs when the chief executives come in, when board members come in, they'll make a statement to communicate. These guys are take. There's no give. It's take. And it's frustrating to watch. As I said, I don't really care when I'm watching the likes of Sky Sports or I'm looking on Twitter and I see other clubs signing players. Aberdeen will be more productive in this window than us. It is hard at times. You see Aberdeen and Hibs and all getting players in, but yet they may not be these players may not be at the big team mentality. They might not be good enough for Celtic, but these guys are trying to make that team better. They're trying to strengthen. We're not trying to strengthen. And Brendan, as I said so many times, he has got to work with the players he has in front of him and get them ready for games. But you need a bit of freshness. You need a bit of freshness, the end of the day, definitely. Hell, Raymond, how are you? Folks, if you haven't come across my channel before and this is your first time coming across it, please hit that subscribe button. it'd be appreciated as well. Let me know how the sound is on this little mic as well. I just, I picked it up, something different. It's better than that big microphone literally sitting there. So, yeah, if Vardy is the standard every season to call or gets a refund. Well, look, don't doubt the man. Don't doubt the man. Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, he's 38 years of age, but he's been training over the summer. I actually follow him, and I've been seeing all his training and stuff like that. He's trying to keep himself sharp as he can, and yeah, 38 is a question mark. But as I said, it's not even a case you play this guy week in week out. You have him on the bench. You bring him on when you need him. Having that leadership around the dressing room, having that buzz around the squad. That's what I want them for. That's what I want them for. There's no point long term planning. And then when they do long term plan, they get guys in on the cheap, and some of them are duds. Like there's no point long term planning when you have a manager where he might not be here next year. It might not suit the manager, the next manager that comes in. There's no point long term planning until you have your manager sealed and done. For the next 3 years or 4 years. This is the sad state of affairs. You're the champions of Scotland. You're going into a crucial Champions League playoff round against a team that is quite unknown, but yet they beat Slovan Bratislava. Yes, we have to play them on this Wednesday. Then we play Livy the weekend, and then we travel out to Kazakhstan on Monday. And it's miles away. I think there's a 7,500 miles or something like that. We're going to travel to on the east of Kazakhstan, playing in a 23,000 seat stadium. It's going to be a hard one. But I've seen a few folk as well on the socials saying they're going to travel to it. Fair dues to them. Fair dues. It wouldn't be my cup of tea. I wouldn't travel all the way for a football team that on the other side. It's more closer to Japan than it is to Europe. But Hazel, how are you getting on? And depending on what Vardy would accept his wage. Look, he's a free agent. If Celtic were to offer him 30 grand a week, I'm sure he'll take it. I'm sure he'll enjoy coming up and playing for a massive, massive club. Okay, Leicester are a big club, nowhere near Celtic standards. And I'm sure he'll be delighted to work back with Casper and Brendan again as well. Familiar faces he worked with, which, he won the Premier League with Kasper Schmeichel. And he had a good relationship with Kasper Schmeichel. He had a good relationship with Brendan when Brendan went there in 2019. They obviously Leicester won I think the Charity Shield and the FA Cup. So I'm not ruling out. Look, you know what? You take a gamble. I just think you need a bit of freshness. And yeah, he's 38 and he scored over 200 odd goals in his career in 500 appearances, but he still scored decent goals last season in the so-called the best league in the world. So if he was playing in the Championship last season, or he was playing in League One and we were getting him in, there'd be a different tone tonight. Be a different tone, So 100%, 100%. So where's everyone tuning in from? There's 13 people on Facebook. Please comment below where you're tuning in from. What parts of the world? Montrose, Aberdeen, Ireland, whatever. There we go. Tommy's on like a carbona, as always. Getting the band back together to win the Champions League. Ugh, don't know about that now. Don't know about that. More so Europa League at this rate. But we'll get through this. We'll get through this round. I'm 75% sure that we'll progress into this past this playoff. There is that 25% doubt because you're going over to Kazakhstan, and we've never won over in Kazakhstan. We've been hammered over there the 2 times we played over there. So there's that bit of doubt there, And if it was to go down that road, and I'm not trying to be drag all our moods down tonight because it is Monday. If we do go down that road and it becomes an AK Athens disaster, Brendan will be sniffing to go away. He'll be sniffing, regardless if Vardy comes in or not, because getting fucked over with the boards just shows it's gonna happen. And you didn't get people might say you didn't get fucked over with the board the first time around and he left after the Motherwell game, but there's I think there's stuff going on behind the scenes that there's not enough clarification there. I know Brendan was laughing saying, "Oh, I was hot that day," and people are looking into it too much of me not wearing a tie, and then he wasn't wearing his Gucci belt against Falkirk. I don't. I said that when we were watching the watch along, I was like, "What's going on here? Why are you not wearing a tie? Is the case it's too hot? Did you forget? Did you give it to a fan, or maybe send a message?" He cleared it up anyway. Cleared it up, but just a strange time. Strange time. But you got to look at the positives as well. That we beat St Mirren at home. We beat Aberdeen away. We beat Falkirk, and Alistair Johnson scored a lovely goal. And you know, there's positives there instead of being the negatives as much as I want to come on and talk about Jamie Vardy and talk about different things as well. But there's been a lot of money flowing in the club this summer, but not enough money going out. That's all. That's what I just want to say. I'm only wearing a tie. Hail, Paul. Hope you're well. It's good to see people are tuning in from Glasgow and different parts. People in south of England as well. Good to see Sterling. How's it going in Sterling, Hazel? Hope you're well up in Sterling. Still have to see the castle, I do. Lille bought 38-year-old Olivier Giroud in instead of pursuing a 17 million megastar. Sometimes you just need experience. Sometimes you just need the old can to come on and nick a goal or two. And I hate using this comparison, but look, let's go down the road, right? As much as Gary McAllister is a blue nose, look at back in 2000s, right? Liverpool signed Gary McAllister at the age of 35, and he absolutely bossed it for them, and they won 5 trophies. Look at James Milner. He's 39 now, is he? And he's still playing top flight football. So don't doubt the player. Don't doubt the player. Maybe because the book looks old. But it's what's inside the book. That's the most important thing, And I'm going to ask you a question right now. It's the final half an hour at Ibrox, and Celtic are 1-1 against Rangers on the 31st of this month. You have Adam Ida on the bench. You have Jamie Vardy on the bench. Who are you going to go for? Who are you going to go for? Don't turn around and say both. Just say just between one of them. Just between. Right? Who would you go for? Would you go for Jamie Vardy? That could come on and be box office because he has scored against the big teams in Europe and in the Premier League. Are you going to bring? Yeah, we did bring Carton Cole in. That was an absolute disaster. That was. I would say Yang. Yang's probably going to go. See, I'd say about 60% of fans right now would say, I think Adam is done. I don't think he's good enough to be first choice striker. But that could change. It could change. I always have that hope, as I said. That hope. See, why would Vardy not come to us? What's a stumbling block there? Is it wages? I'd give him a year deal. Why not? Fuck it. Give me a year deal. Nothing to lose. We have the money in the bank. Guy's 38. Bring him in. Get a bit of banter around the training ground. Add a bit more spice to it. If he comes on, bangs a few goals in, gets 10 goals for Celtic. Look, if we got Dion Dublin in, and Dion Dublin scored a few goals for Celtic, didn't he? People forget about Big Dion, So, yeah. Vardy wants to come to us. He wants to come. Why would he not want to come? It's fucking Glasgow Celtic. He gets to work with his old boss. He gets to taste a bit of Champions League football. Why would you turn that down? Let's be fucking honest here. Like, someone's snipping the glue tonight on the podcast. It won't change with key positions. What? Right, look, I understand. Look, Scottish voiceover is saying his opinion, saying he's done. He's He's cold. He's cold toast. He's done. It's not worth it anymore. He's past his sell by date. He's this and that. And look, I can understand your point. But at the same fucking time, if he does come in and he bangs a couple of goals in, I'll be chasing you, buds. I'll be saying to you, oh, Jesus Christ, remember that comment? Remember that comment? I held you to that comment. Remember, I was right and you were wrong, or maybe you were right and I was wrong. And I look like a dickhead. You never know. But appreciate you watching. The only way he's gonna come is if we get Champions League. Well, we should get Champions League. We should be fucking going out and expecting Champions League and play for that. Want to have that Champions League night. Get that music, adrenaline. Get that music on Wednesday night. Have that shivers up your arms. I'm not going to fucking game because I don't have the fucking money to go to the game. But I'll be watching it with me big fucking helmet on and me beers and me big fucking hand. Let's go Celtics. Like, I'll be fucking watching it like everyone else will be. And I'm hoping that we'll smash this Bora FC 3 or 4-0. You know? Hopefully we don't have any Kazakhstanian Celtic fans. That's quite insulting to come across. Bora FC. But you know what? The weirdos, they keep commenting on all these socials with our main striker and these gifts and all. I'm like, get a grip, you bleeding weirdos. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying there's something. Well, go on to YouTube. Well, after this video, Brian, just go on and have a look at a few of these goals he's done. He's passed. Put it this way, he could still do a job. You know, people doubt with Scott McDonald, even though Scott McDonald wasn't 28, he done a job. Look, we've had Premier League duds in the past. Let's be honest. We've had duds in the past, and we've had players that came up and done a job. John Hartson, Chris Sutton. Yes, they were well younger than Jamie Vardy, and you know, but as I said, stop doubting the book. You know, he's lost his fitness. Well, maybe he gets his sports, get a bit more fitness into him. Maybe he works the sports science and he works with, you know, getting that extra stride in. Like, he's not fucking 60, folks. He was playing Premier League football last season. He would score just in May, just gone. Like, it's madness. It's madness. Relax. I know what he's not saying. I understand the frustration. Okay, there's 100 million in the bank, and why the fuck are we going for a 28-year-old that can't get a club? Is this the level we're going to? Well, it fucking is. So, I can't change it. You can't change it. Fucking Wizards of Oz can't change it. So, you know what? We bite the bullet. We ride the journey out. I'd rather have Vardy in than have no fucking Vardy at this rate, because the individuals that we have in that striking department, they're too inexperienced. I don't think some of these guys can hack the pressure of playing for Celtic. Simple. I don't know if Johnny Kenny has it in him just yet, even though he signed a new deal. I don't think I think Adamita's gone missing. He's gone missing since last year. So, Aramoy, what a guy. That was a great little signing there. But, sorry, have you seen Vardy? He's suited to counter-attacks in football, St. Mirren low block. Doesn't matter if he puts the ball in the back of the net, and if he comes in and it's a free transfer, and they'll have to pay his wages, whatever the fuck it is. It's 30 million, not 30 million, 30 grand. Yeah. I'm going to say to you in the comments, right? Let's be realistic here as Celtic fans. How much will the board give Brendan Rodgers to his disposal in the last couple of weeks of the window? Just put a figure. Some people might say 5 million, couple of loan moves, 10 million, 20 million. They have no fucking excuse, because if we qualify for the Champions League, that's about 60 million. You get 40 million winning that playoff, and then you got your TV money coming in. And if they get pumped by Bruges, we're getting that TV pot as well. That's an extra 20 odd million, I think, on top of that as well. So let's see. Look, if I was him, I'll be honest, which I'm not him, But because I don't drink the Red Bulls and the bottles of Wicket like Jamie Vardy does, and has an absolute session in Fleetwood and goes to Blackpool on the sauce, and you know, if I was him, I mean, me last days of my career, if I can offer a club something, two clubs I'd be looking to sign for out straight if I was Jamie Vardy: Wrexham or Celtic. Wrexham because it's a fairy tale story, it's fucking unbelievable. Or Celtic, you get to work with your own manager, you get to go to a 60,000 seater stadium, play in front of an intense crowd, you have that fishbowl mentality. There's no such thing as second best. The intensity of playing for a massive club. It's either one of them two I'd be looking for a move for. Simple advice, Jamie Vardy. That's what I'd be thinking. You know, people always say, why are you putting us in that, comparing us to Wrexham? The Wrexham story's class. That's all, because I have a soft spot for Wrexham. But obviously, I love to see him come to us. So, yeah. Surprised Wrexham actually haven't got him, to be honest. Well, yeah. Protest is the only way. They're not going to protest. People, this is the thing, right? This is why fans want protest. When you're winning games, regardless if you're not spending money, when you're winning games and it's fine and it's wine, no one won't protest. It won't happen. Simple as. It won't happen. The way they protest these days is people knocking online, like yourself. People that put posts up. There's too many happy clappers. Simple as. And I don't want to be arguing against our own fans, but sometimes you need some of them just need a bit of a tap on the shoulder, like, mate, you've been sleeping for the last fucking 10 years. Yeah, we've won trebles and quad trebles, and we brought Angie in, and we got the Thunder back, and Lenny was in, and Brendan was in. Even Ronnie had a shout at it. It feels like people are too comfortable. Some fans are too comfortable, and this is what I'm trying to say to you. You know, it's when I mean too comfortable. These are just letting the board do the operations. Oh, we're in a great position. Like, you had fucking that team, new Eagles, saying that, Celtic should have took a book out Rangers book the way that we done business over Ant-Man. No, I don't want to do the way Rangers do business, because Rangers go down and get liquidated. Simple as. You know, we do have to take risks. We don't overbuy or overspend. We don't. But you need to have a bit of charisma to it, you know. Square sausage. Mate, are you actually serious? You'll score for fun. What do you mean? I take him. I don't care. Don't care if people disagree with me, you know. I take him at Celtic, as I said. Share screen. I know it's all in the past now, but look at that there, right? 342 games for Leicester City and 145 goals, right? Altogether, 544 games in his career, 237 goals, right? Yes, he's going to be 39 in January. Yes, some people say he's past his sell date. You wouldn't even get WD-40 on him. It still wouldn't do the job. Current market value is £1 million. Either way, I'd take a risk on him. I'd take a risk. Simple as. Sometimes you got to take a risk. Risk it for a chocolate biscuit and all that crap. But there you go. There you go. The Sun's stirring up, saying that there's communication between Brendan and Jamie and his agent and all this crap. But actions speak louder than words, you know. Actions speak louder than words. That's it. But people. So 2 seconds, Mark. I'm trying to get your comment up here. I don't know what's going on. 2 seconds. Oh, there you are, Mark. There you are. I don't think I forgot about you, Mark. I still see you there with the cigar. He scored double figures in the EPL last season with the worst team. You're defo a sausage. Be better than either. Hands up. I'm not a sausage. I want them. Fucking simple. I want them. The rest of the people that don't want them, they may be the sausages. But I'm the bacon. I want them. I'm streaky. I'm all in for this. I'm all in for this, bud. Vardy's too old for Celtic. What about Casper Schmeichel, James? Is he too old? Is he? Is he too old? Because a lot of fucking people are saying last year he was too old for Celtic and he's still done a fucking job. Get the boat. That's just how's it. I love to know the suggestions from the fans that would that give me the ideal candidate that we should be getting in instead. I understand we've 100 million in the bank and you want us to go out and buy a striker for 12, 13 million or even 6 million quid, but the board ain't going to do it. They're not going to do it. Simple. If Brendan wants to try to get his way and say, okay, let's take a risk with this guy. I know Jamie quite well. Yeah, he scored double figures in the Premier League last season. He's a winner. You know, he's good to have around the dressing room. The board might get on board on it. And you know what? It'd be all forgiven if he fucking comes in and scores the winner in the derby, wouldn't it? Be quick enough. Sometimes you gotta think we are desperate, we would take anything. We're not trying to take anything. You know, as I said, if this guy played in the championship last year and only scored 2 goals in the championship, English championship, or scored in League One, I wouldn't be touching him. Because he's played high level football for the last 12 years of his career. Why not? He's clearly not a sausage, but he's more people backing him up on it. Look, I'm glad he's all joining in tonight. Get the questions in. I'm just a bit pissed off that we haven't got Balakwisha, to be honest. Michel-Ange Balakwisha, the 24-year-old from Royal Antwerp. I think the door is going to be closed on that guy. We were looking at that winger from New Eagles in Eredivisie that won the Dutch Cup. They were looking at for around 7 million from him. I think Celtic only went in for 2.5 million, and you well after. Is it Jacob? Was it the guy that's he's Danish, is he? But just disappointing, to be honest. I sound like Tavernier when I say disappointing. But it is disappointing. It's a poor show so far from Celtic. I know we've got Nigrin in, we've got Shinamada in, Osmond, Tierney, Dillon. Who else? Who else did we bring in? Am I forgetting someone? Oh, JSP on loan from City. But yeah, well, look. Desmond's stake is 37%. That is ridiculous. Well, look, that's his majority shareholder, and it is what it is. And you know, he gets a preference on what decisions he is the majority shareholder. I would not be surprised if he signs tonight or tomorrow. Well, to be honest, it's just a story. There's no actual truth behind it. It's all tabloid talk at the moment, Dennis. And I will keep an eye on it over the next 24 hours. And if he signs for us, you know what? I'm going to say this to anyone that signs at Celtic, regardless what age they are. If they're 19 or if they're 38 years of age, you got to back these players. Back them, and hope they can do a job. You know. Yeah, that's the mystery company in London. The mystery company. Square sausage Mick, he needs to go, mate. That honestly is. Oh, are we talking about Nathan Nicholson? Look, I'm not going to completely slate the board all the time because the board have done business at the past. At the end of the day, their job is to make sure that the club's in a stable place, in a good place. Financially, we're in a great place, like regards to revenue and the way the club has been ran. But I think it's the lack of communication that the fans are getting annoyed with from the board. And as I said earlier on, I'm saying this from an outsider's perspective that I'm not a season ticket holder. I go to 4 games a season. Are you getting your money's worth on your season ticket if the prices are going up and we're not putting the money into the team that we should be? Let's be honest. You know, are you getting your money's worth? Rod Stewart's company. Brendan Rodgers calling in favours to get old players he worked with before, Michael KT, maybe Vardy. Does not scout recommendations. A bit embarrassing, actually. Well, that's just down to like I know Giakoumakis is at the joining pack in Greece with Greg Taylor and former player Johnny Kenny. Is it not Johnny Kenny? John Joe Kenny. John Joe Kenny. Sorry, John Joe Kenny. Jesus, that season was horrendous. The guy that we got from Everton on loan, but yeah, Giakoumakis has gone to Greece, and Giakoumakis hinted he would love to come back to Celtic when he was on that Daily Records podcast about 6 weeks ago. But it is what it is. How's it going? Two from Mark Scott. I was gonna say Squat. Go on the Mark Squat. Hell, 5 players short. Even if you get 3 more players in, I'll be happy. But 5 is asking a lot, mate. It's asking a lot, you know. Vardy was good in his prime, but I thought we were past signing as beans in the last minute. Look, we'll see what happens. See what happens. As I said, could be a controversial signing if you get him in. A lot of people will be pissed off because he's too old, and some people will be delighted. As I said, I put this poll up. And yes, my Instagram is more so aimed at folk that are in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s, not like the Facebook folk that are more, in the 50s, 60s, and a few in the 40s. But this is what I put up yesterday, right? And I was taken back by it. As I said, let's just get rid of this comment for a minute. Ian, I'm sorry. 1,300 votes, 1,300 votes, and 70% of people said he'd take Jamie Vardy. So the Celtic fans have spoken. A good portion of them have here on me following, and they said, yeah, you would. 20% no. They just think he's not good enough. He's old, he's rusted. We should be getting better. We should be going for more ambition. But the thing about Celtic board ambition, they don't really go hand to hand at the moment. They don't. Never heard of them mentioned Celtic. Who? Hewlett Park, is it Hewlett Park cards? Sainsbury? I don't know. You have me bleeding lost anyway. The fans know that the board won't spend big, and the thought of spending big money on a player doesn't work out for every fan knows that. 100%, Aidan. I agree with you. What's the story with the picture, man? Is that the Pope? Is that the Pope with bags of grass or bags of hay? Is that the Pope? Is that old Pope Fran? Is it? What's he up to? God rest his soul. What's he doing there yourself? Good to see your channel growing. I haven't been on in a while, to be honest with you. I've just been busy. I'm going to be on it a lot over the next 2 weeks because I have a bit of time off just to get the old. No comments. Well, I'm going to ask you, what is that? What is that? What is that we see in the picture? The good old Argentine leaf, is it? Well, yeah, fair play. The man's having a blast up there. Sure he is. He's sitting there with the Holy Goldie's favourite, Pope John Paul II, having a spliff on the cliff. A bit agitated, looking straight over at Celtic Park, saying, "Geez, that Peter guy want to start getting his finger out and spending money." That's what they're probably saying. The lack of care and disrespect the board has for the fans is why I hate them and never come out and say what the vision is for the club. It's simple as it is. The vision is to keep taking the money in, take all the money into the cash register, and just not put it back into the stock. Just not put it into new stock. It's a TV store. Can't still have them TVs with the DVD players on the side. You need to move up and start getting smart TVs in. Simple as. You need to move up with the times. And what I mean by move up with the time is you need to start spending a bit more. Start looking at other markets. Stop looking the cheap route in. Start looking at the cheap route of like, fuck, we're going to the J League. We might find a golden gem in there. Don't get me wrong, I'm delighted for Kyogo. obviously scored the other day in the Carabao Cup for Birmingham and all that crap. But and Matt O'Reilly scored the other day as well for Brighton. But look, it's what we have, and I just feel like we're not moving forward. Simple as we've moved backwards. Even though the league table and progressing in the League Cup doesn't say that, but realistically, we're down Keown. Jota's injured at the moment. We haven't replaced Kyogo. We still haven't replaced Matt O'Reilly. We don't have another backup to Callum McGregor in defensive mids. Let's be honest. You know, we brought Tierney back. Yes, that's it. That was a good bit of work from the board. Fair enough on that. But I just think they got steady and ready after that. To be honest, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. So, yeah, well, look, let's look at this bigger perspective. We got Bruges out there that buy players for decent money. We got fucking Copenhagen out there that buy players for decent money. We got Red Bull in Germany. Yeah, they have money behind them, but they buy players. You know, like we're bigger than these clubs. We are bigger than these clubs. Still not replaced Scott Brown. I don't know about that now. Look, Callum McGregor has sailed the ship quite well. We've won a treble with Callum McGregor. We've won a couple of doubles with Callum McGregor. Well, 3 doubles and a treble with Callum McGregor in his tender as a Celtic captain. So it's hard to say we haven't replaced Scott Brown because I think McGregor's done enough on his side as his perspective, you know. And of course he left with big boots. Look, I didn't think McGregor was going to replace Bruni, but he took the captain's armband. He got that team pumped up, and he loves the club as more than anything, you know. Of 100%, we haven't replaced Kyogo. As I said, we haven't replaced Kyogo. We haven't replaced Kim. We haven't replaced O'Reilly. We don't have a good backup left back for Tierney. We play Scales there. Looking quite weak on the left flank. We have Maeda that plays on the left. Jota's still injured. No one really on the right, you know. Negan can play there. Just, do you blame me not being excited? Do you blame me feeling fed up? Well, let's be honest. Still miss Yakimakis. We need that type of player. I thought Ida would have been better than Yakimakis, but Ida's just been Adam. Ida just needs to get his scoring boots on, and some of them deliveries for him against St. Mirren just couldn't capitalise them. So yeah. Let me just check my phone. See what's going on. Let me see what's going on. What is this? Got these today, Key. Waiting on 3 sizes. Oh, Jesus. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Cal's done fine, but different from Brownie, where no captains. But look, Scott Brown was in that generation of players where he got pumped up. He used to shave his head. You know, he was a wind-up merchant. He scored phenomenal goals. He was just a true leader. And some really good saves at Celtic from 2007 up to 2021. So I was devastated when Scott Brown left. Devastated. I was delighted for Aberdeen when they obviously got him, but it's just Brownie's now in a managerial perspective, and hopefully down the line he might get the Hibs job. If Gray, well, look, Gray's done well to get Hibs into the playoff or is it the Europa League or the Europa League? So wish Hibs the best on that. Yeah, well, that's the thing is they won't take responsibility because they just see it as why should we take responsibility? We have the club in a great position financially. We have a manager that has 1 year left in his deal. We're okay. We're okay. Fuck Edward. Fuck Keith. Fuck the rest of the Celtic fans. We don't care. We'll sit in them green, fancy seats, look down, and you keep making us rich, baby. You keep making us rich. We'll just keep smelling them notes. That's what it is, bud. That's what it is. So, as I said, I have given them praise in the past. I have, for the way that my club is being ran. But this summer, I'm disappointed in them. Really am. Really disappointed in them. Apparently, a majority shareholder has been quoted as saying on a gold clause, when asked about transfers, do not forget it's business running. We're running. Well, and obviously it is a business. And if you want to make a business more attractive, like this is why I think we won't get certain players in, because it's not because of Scottish football, it's not because of the weather shy. It's because it's the it's the way that they run the business at times. Trying to milk the transfer too much. You know, it's a football club. It is a football club. It's a business. And as much as we're passionate fans and we want to see success being brought in and even established players being brought in and we can add to it, it doesn't always work like that. But they shouldn't think like that. They shouldn't think like that because, argument's sake, right? As much as Rangers have their own fucking mess across the city, Russell bleeding Martin and he's turning the ship around, the mechanic, all this crap he's talking about. For them being poor and us to being inconsistent isn't good enough for Celtic. We shouldn't be relying on their mess to win a league. We should be focused on us getting better, learning from last season, making it a 20-point point title. You know, that's what you should be. You should be doing. You should be pushing in every single avenue. You should be bringing a bit of quality in, get that new fresh feeling in where these guys are coming in, oh, I want to win trophies, instead of having people there that won the trophy, had the 2 days out, 3 days out, and they're like kind of like, oh, I've used this as a stepping stone. I want to move. That's what footballers do, you know. The pork chop is in. How's it getting on? The football club in the business with a world of football that's run by money, not joy anymore. Unfortunately, that's it. That's it. And this is why, as I said, folks, I'm saying sorry to you now because it's very hard for me to come on and be very excited and optimistic about this season when I'm not seeing enough being brought in. Yet we were fantastic during the night against Falkirk. We were brilliant against Falkirk, and John McGlynn's side, they're going to do well in the league. They are going to be a difficult team to play, playing the league away in Falkirk and stuff. But I just don't know. I just really, really don't know. And I had a conversation with my friend Lloyd a couple of weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago, and he said the same thing. He's like, Keith, I don't blame you. I don't blame you feeling like that. It's not being spoiled. It's being realistic. You have a club that's at to sign a new 10-year deal with the biggest kit manufacturer in the world, and they're bringing out different edition merchandise every couple of weeks. And yeah, it's good for the fans that want to buy the US edition or buy the player edition jersey, and you know, it's a lot. Like, you look on the Celtic website, there is 5 different training gear, 5 different training tracksuits alone. And we still have the Henrik Larsson tracksuit to come out that was on the away on the video. So the thing is, you say boycott the merge. I'm a jersey junkie. For me to boycott merch, I feel like I'm letting myself down. I don't like the thoughts of going on and buying it off a website from China. I like to actually buy it from the club or buy it from JD, because you have the partners with Celtic. You know, I like the thoughts of buying the stuff from the club, but at the same time, it's getting too much now. It's getting too much. They should be keeping one jersey at least for 2 seasons. The home jersey even. It's getting to the stage where these corporations of Nike, Adidas, I know they have quotas, I know they have targets, I know they lost out on money in lockdown because everybody was sitting in their gaff, chilling in their jocks, in the Harry Potter house coats, smoking cigars, having bottles of Buckfast, watching shite on TikTok. You want to make up that money for that. I understand that. But come on. We're in a cost of living crisis. People fucking can't afford it. They just cannot afford it. They just can't. Like, I bought the home jersey, 85. No, actually, apologies. It wasn't 85. It was nearly 100 quid because I got the print on the back of it. Then I bought the tour jersey, and that was like another, what was that? 70 quid, 70 quid. And then I bought the black zip up training top, the shorts, the training top, like the jersey thing. I spent 250 quid this season alone, and I haven't even stepped a foot in Celtic Park. Crazy. It's crazy. Crazy talk. You know, but you do it for the love of the club. As I said, I'm a jersey junkie. The thought of not buying a particular jersey kills me. Because I get sucked into the marketing. I get sucked into it. I see these cringy ads of Henrik Larsson playing pool, and, you know, you're seeing Kasper Schmeichel serving bleeding drinks and McCool's, whatever it is. And you're like, fuck me. This is selling to me. This is it, you know? But yeah, I do get sucked into it. I am a passionate fan like you. And yeah, let's go through the comments. If you had a choice now, would you keep Maeda or no more signs come in? What would you take? Paul, you grabbed me there. Grab me by the cojones. Keep Maeda, but the thoughts of having the window still open and could do something in it, this is what's killing me. You know, if we were to sell Maeda for 40 million, easily the club are going to pocket 30 million out of that. You know, I'm not going to sell him for 40 million. Just give an example, you know. If you love the club, you'd see the bigger picture, not the latest top. But as I said to you, I'm a jersey junkie. I know what you're saying. The bigger picture is boycott the merch. If I don't buy the merch, someone else is going to buy the merch anyway. It works on someone else. It's the old trick works on someone else. Doesn't matter. Mine, you know, as much as I say I've spent 250 quid, someone else can buy it. You know, I'm gonna buy it. Simple as I'm gonna buy it. But I didn't buy the black away jersey. I bought the training gear. That's the exact same colour as it. But yeah, I do want the goalkeeper one, the green one. You know what the modern players are like these days? They can be a bit fickle as well. Yeah, look it. They can be, because it's their persona of, oh, I want to be an Instagram influencer when I'm a footballer. Oh, I want to do this boot deal. I want to do this podcast. Oh, I'm not happy because the manager gave me a bit of hairdryer treatment because I had a bad game. Oh, I'm getting sick on TikTok. Oh, I'm getting sick on Instagram because I had a bad game. If you can't cut up the sauce and you're coming to represent one of the biggest clubs in the world, don't fucking sign. Simple. Don't sign. I'm not saying that every fan's going to bite your ankles when you do something wrong. We're here to back them in all that way. But it's too much. Of course we need a Bumblebee refresh. We're not going to do it. Not going to do it. With New Balance, look, it's not about Adidas or Nike or New Balance. The club decide if they want to put their jerseys on sale. I remember the days where you could get the jersey halfway through a season. Now, I do not like putting us in the same category as Sefco, but Sefco have been selling their tops for half price halfway through a season. Yeah, because maybe now they never going to win the league and all that. But why just, as much as Celtic are so much in the green financially, why did he not give something back to the fans and put the price down of some stuff? Like there's stuff in there from last season where it's still full price. You know, I've made it clear on the channel, if you're a season ticket holder or even if you're a fan and you go in and you spend 100 quid in the Celtic shop or even online, you should get a five quid coupon back on your next sale, your next buy. If you spend 250 quid, you get you get 20 quid back and stuff like that. Incentivize. Because if I had one of them loyalty cards, fuck me, I'd be buying all the time. Let's be honest, when they had the Celtic shop in Jervis Street in Dublin, I'd say to myself, right, I'm after getting paid. I'm gonna go in and only spend 90 fucking quid. 90 quid, that's the budget. And I'll go in and spend triple. Because I get sucked into it. I get sucked into it. You know? You know? CB, give us the basic hoop stop at a reasonable price. You won't. It's all about money. It's all about ching ching buds. They don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They just care about money. Pat's a carriage. Where's Pat? P. McLaughlin? No. Look at. You know what? I like Strachan. You know, Gordon Strachan. You know, he got Celtic. As much as a hindrance against Celtic in his playing days for Aberdeen, he got Celtic. And the reason why he came to Celtic because he wanted to work with Tommy Burns. God rest his soul. And Strachan, you know, he won doubles. He got us into 2 Champions League last 16 ties, which I was at against the oppositions. I was against Barcelona and against Milan. I was there for both of them home games. But I liked Strachan. I really liked Strachan. I think Strachan, you know, he went into the Scottish market and got players. Didn't work out for Derek Ryden. You know, Stephen Presley, I thought he'd done a decent job as a centre back for Celtic. Paul Hartley, he's done a decent job. Even Jarosik was decent. We got him from Chelsea. Obviously, we bought Nakamura from Regina. Jan Vennegaard Hesseling from PSV, Eindhoven. You know, Scott McDonald from Motherwell. You know, Chris Killen, we got him from Hibs. Jesus, these names are all coming back like it was yesterday. Like yesterday. You know. Oh, Nakamura. One of my favourites of all time. What a guy. What an absolute guy. 51 people tuning in tonight. Ray. I forgot about Barry Robson. Of course, the Ginger Ninja who scored against Aberdeen in his debut when he came off the bench and pinged the free kick in. Do you remember that, Bosco? Paul, do you remember that? Give me a rating out of 10 how much you joined the podcast tonight. I need a bit of love. Give me a bit of love. I need a bit of love. The missus is not here. I need the love somewhere. You know? Ben Muggs, that boy. Football for life. Yeah, but you know, Strachan was a decent manager for Celtic. And I don't think he got the credit that he deserved. You know, I thought he was a funny bastard as well. He loved ripping the piss out of David Tanner, didn't he? No. This one here. I know. Do you know what? I like wearing this. I do like, obviously, you know. One day I will go to the Estadio Nacional in Lisbon. That is on the bucket list. I think the missus wants to bring me there. She wants to bring me there next year. She kind of hinted it. I'm like, oh, is it? Is it gonna be Lisbon, love? I hope you're fucking safe and well, love. Because I'm broke like the Huns. So. But I stopped buying football tops when my kid was born in 2015 to skin. I'll find the cash if the top was decent, but lately. Look at. We know deep down inside, Mr. Express, you're a team. We know, we see you all the time across them podcasts, far and wide, getting them chats in, pressing that keyboard hard, tapping it like it's a Morse code, like the Titanic is going down. We know. Don't be worrying about it. Deep down inside, you got that green and white and hoops going through your body. That's the most important thing. Choppy boy. Square sausage. I don't buy anything from the club, and I blame the board for everything. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't have to buy things. At the end of the day, it's his money. If he doesn't want to spend the money at the club, he doesn't have to spend the money. You know. I love to visit Lisbon too. I know. I read a story that they're actually they're doing up the Estadio Nacional. They're putting a roof on it. So let's see. Mick Moyne Baz is raging at the board last season, then spilling the beans on 400 clobber for the club. Which Baz? Are we talking about Baz Celtic fan view Baz? Because Baz is a legend. Baz has them Martin O'Neill glasses. He's a good man. I like Baz. I keep saying I want to speak to Baz. Baz is a good lad. He's unique. He's honest. He has a laugh. You know, he's a good. Just as I said, I'm not gonna stay here and talk about other fucking podcasts. They do their own shit. I do my shit. But I love to get Baz on one day. He's a good lad. You know, he's the HBK of Celtic podcast. You know, I'm hoping to go to the Stadio Nacional next year for my 60th. Well, bring me with you, plunge. I'll go with you. I'll be going. I'll be 35 next year, plunge. So I'll go with you. You can drink me under the table if you want. If it doesn't drink me, I reckon we'll sign a striker for between 6 and 9. Has to be sold. Well, here's the question for you: do you think we'll sell out immediate in January if he's not cutting the mustard? Simple as. But you're not going to, as I said this here hundreds of times on this podcast, and I don't want to sound like Pedro the Parrot, but they're not going to leave. That board are not going to be shifted because we're successful. If it was the 90s and we weren't successful and we were dropping down to fourth in the league, that's when you see a shift. Simple as. When the money's coming in, things are green, things are on the way forward in their eyes, you won't see. You won't see it, you know. Yeah, exactly. That's it. You know. No one has a secret camera in your gaff and watching when you're watching Celtic on the telly. You know, pork chop, don't be worrying about it. Yeah. Let's see. He's good. He's a good lad, isn't he? He's a good lad. He's a good lad. I think me and him would have a great laugh on the podcast. I think I think I think we'd get each other's humour. You know, like he's a good lad, honestly. I'll try get on touch with him. I enjoy watching these podcasts when I can. Just it's I'll be honest with you, is like I know there's 45 he's watching now. It's very hard to be watching all this Celtic so called news when there's fuck all happening. To be honest, there's fuck all happening. And it's just a buzzkill. You know, I'm sorry for getting the thumbtack and putting it through the balloon, but it really is like right, folks. I better head. That's the whip now from the missus. She's on the way home. He didn't give me enough love, so I had to call in the missus to sort it out. But I really appreciate you all tuning in tonight. I enjoyed the podcast. Look, as I said, Verdi and Jamie Vardy. I understand a lot of you are be going to that level. But at the same time, he's a winner, and he still has something to offer. You know. So we'll see what happens. But oh, did he? Did he? Well, folks, I'm gonna head right. Really good chatting to you all, and I'll try to get back on tomorrow night. But I'll definitely be back on Wednesday after the game anyway. And before, I might do a watch along on Wednesday for the game. So we'll see if I can get the gaff empty, and we'll see what we can do, right? But thanks very much for tuning in, folks. Hail, hail.